Start it in a second. There we go. Okay. What's going on? Virginia Beach. You can't just come in with statements. You got to come with questions. I don't know if you're going to get snow from this. Maybe a little bit. Maybe a little bit. Let's see what the latest from the National Weather Service is. What's it thinking for Virginia Beach? Yeah, maybe a dusting. Maybe a dusting for Virginia Beach. Maybe they give you a little bit more on the high end. Oh, their sight's down again. High end, not much, maybe an inch. Alrighty, let's see. Do we have any watches, warnings? No winter storm warnings, no blizzard warnings. It's nothing like that. Okay, interesting. Let's take a look here at our surface winter total Coachella. All right, so that's the latest GFS. What's going on, Kimber? Charles. Abby, what's poppin'? Nightwolf, what's going on from Dora, Alabama? Mike Phillips, John. Skull Day. What's poppin'? Mason, what's going on? Pittsburgh Friday. What do we want to go to? Let's take a look at the Euro for that. Here's as we get into Friday. A little bit of snow moving through. Ooh, NWS is almost there. Tomorrow we'll get to see what the NWS thinks for you. Right now, let's take a look at what the latest Euro thinks for you. Pittsburgh. Let's drop straight down into Pennsylvania. I always forget which one. Okay, that one's Pittsburgh. All right, just as a reminder. So it is. Okay, it's the one I thought. So well, yeah, let me double check. So yeah, Pittsburgh is this one right here. Okay, so this is going to be Pittsburgh right there. Euro thinks as we get into Friday morning through the weekend, maybe we get 4.5. It's like 3 to 6 inches. 3 to 6 inches into Philly. Let's take a look at the national blend for you really quickly. I mean, it's in Philly, into Pittsburgh. National blend, it's lower, but that's because it has to account for some models that don't show snow into Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's going to get snow. I'd be shocked if you got below 3 inches. I'd be probably surprised if you didn't at least hit 3.5, 4. But these clipper systems can be weird. They can really, really be dependent on banding, especially when you take a look at how the reflectivity looks with this storm. Not very dark, right? If this thing passes to your south, the bulk of the snow, and you have to depend on this stuff, that's all just kind of like random snow showers. You can get low end snow there. All right. It's going to be cold too, obviously. Below average. Obviously. All right. Another quick stream just because there's not a ton going on and I'm trying to not get so burnt out. So when there's not craziness going on, maybe keep the streams
Thoughts
under an hour.
15th for NJ.
$2 from Jefferson Santino. Thoughts on the 15th for New Jersey. Take a look at the Euro first. So yeah, I mean, because when there's big winter storms to talk about, big winter storms moving through, severe weather, hurricanes, I'm going to push myself to stream, try to do my 2 to 4 hour streams. When there's not, got to give myself a break. I'm trying to be better at it. Okay. Let's see here. So let's take a look at what the Euro thinks. A little bit of a zonal flow here. And I've noticed, this is what I was talking about. The National Weather Service had just a brutal heat out here 2 days ago. And you guys were in stream and I said, I think it's being a little bit over aggressive. I don't think we're going to just get stuck under a ridge out east. Remember we talked about this? I think that ridge is maybe get warm air 7 to 10 days and it moves out. The National Weather Service has definitely pulled back on that ridge just getting stuck out east. You can see, here's the ridge they originally thought was going to move in. There it is, still moving in, but does it stay? Well, look what happens. More cold air. Boom, back into the east. Exactly what we talked about a couple days ago. That wasn't hard to see. A lot of cold air pooling on the ensembles, Western Canada. A lot of cool air out in a lot of below average temperatures in Europe. Disrupted tropospheric polar vortex. But more than that, all of our ensembles, 30-day ensembles, still saw a northwesterly flow like this. They weren't locking that trough in. So will this confirm? We'll see. But I like this. So that being said, 14th, 15th out towards New Jersey. I think this is more of a believable pattern. Cold air tries to move back in, and we could try to get some more snow out towards the coast. What does the GFS think? Obviously, it's impossible to tell what's going to happen out 300 hours. Let's not pretend we know what's going to happen out 250, 300 hours. Yeah, the GFS sees a snowstorm out here. Again, I don't know. I don't know that we see. I can't tell you we're going to see a nor'easter or any big sort of storm. I can tell you I do believe, and I told you guys, we get 7 to 10 days of a little bit of warmer air out east, a little bit of a warm up, and then we get back into a little bit of a positive PNA, negative NAO setup. So cold air, snow, it's believable. This 200 to 320 time frame here, 200 hours, 320 hours, it's a believable, at least from how I've forecasted February. And you can go look at my February outlook on my page, but that's kind of when I expect to transition back over, give or take a couple days. Okay, really quickly, guys. Really quickly. Let's take a look at what's going on. And here's our snowstorm slash... we don't have any severe weather, do we? A little bit of a flash flood warning there. Some strong thunderstorms. Not severe necessarily, but they look pretty strong. Moving into the Houston area. Let's go to our local radar here. You can see the lightning strikes, high cloud tops. I don't think it's impossible to get a little bit of hail in here. Let's take a look at our velocity just in case. Do we have anything spinning in here? A little bit of spin there. Maybe a little rotation here as well. Actually, that's clockwise and counterclockwise rotations. I don't see anything. I don't see any issue here. Clockwise rotation there. And then over here, you have a counterclockwise. That's very weird. Right next to each other. Okay, I don't know what's going on there. Obviously, some good shear at the surface messing with these storms. Neither of them look like they're going to put a tornado down. I wouldn't worry. I would not worry. Let's take a look really quickly. Climate. Oh my God, I haven't done severe weather on here in so long. Categorical. Yeah, so you're under this. This is the area. Yep. Under a little bit of a general thunderstorm warning. No tornado, no wind, no nothing. I will say, if anyone's going to see a little bit of hail possible tonight, maybe a tiny little EF0, EF1 maybe? I don't think so. A little bit of a windstorm. It's going to be down here, but these storms are moving off the coast pretty quickly. All right, let's get out of there. Rainfall, obviously, good rainfall moving through portions of southeastern Louisiana, central to southern Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. And here's our snow. What's expected with our snowfall totals here? Let's take a look at the latest from the National Weather Service. Don't worry, I'm going to get to answering your questions here in a second. Here's the high end. If you get lucky, maybe you get a little bit of snow, an inch up in Durham, Raleigh, Rocky Mount, Greenville, Winston-Salem. Maybe 1 to 4 inches through portions of Appalachia. And then you can see Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Hampton, out here towards Elizabeth City, North Carolina, New Hope, Suffolk, Virginia. Maybe an inch or two. This is on the high end. Don't expect this. Lynchburg, 2 inches. Blacksburg, Cave Spring, 3 inches. Harrisonburg down to Staunton. And Charlottesville, 2 inches. Now, what's expected? Obviously, West Virginia getting some pretty good snow. You can see what's expected up here through PA. Right there. 3, 4 inches on the high end. Here's our expected totals. Don't worry, we're going to see more snow through this area tomorrow because this isn't accounting for the full clipper that's going to move through yet. So you're going to see these totals tomorrow when we look at this go up. Here's expected totals. Mostly a dusting for everyone. Still thinking expected, which is very interesting out here. I don't know if I believe this, but Norfolk, Suffolk, Boykins, Franklin, Virginia, an inch. Seaboard, Jackson, Murfreesboro, Como, Gates, Coral Peak, North Carolina, an inch. So some good snow, some okay snow from this weak sauce, cold air and Clipper right now. The cold air is actually pretty cold, but inner New England there you can see Cleveland up through Erie, Buffalo, all the places. Not much going on out west, not yet, but that's what's going on with that. Nothing too crazy. Cold air is going to continue to stream into the west. All right, I want to get to answering your questions. Last thing we'll look at here is just what's our 7 to 10 day temperature anomalies. Let's take a look at the latest Euro. Here we go. Temperature anomalies. 7 day. There's your 7-day temperature anomalies. Wisconsin, Illinois, most of Missouri, most of Arkansas, most of Louisiana. Little cool, obviously, very cool out here over the next 7 days. Getting into our 10-day temperature anomalies, well, not much changes except for the heat comes a little bit farther to the east. There was one more thing I wanted to show you. We got some updates. Outlook. Temperatures. Notice, 6 to 10 day, 8 to 14. Now, this isn't as hot as it was supposed to be. You're talking about what we can show you here. 40% chance of above average temperatures, 33% chance. This isn't scorching hot. You get hot once you get into this region in that 8 to 14 day time frame, which is kind of what we talked about in stream the other day too. I think this is the exact area I put the ridge in stream, but that's updated now. Thanks CPC for making me look good. Cold air out to the west. That's 8 to 14 days. 3 to 4 week. Guess what? They haven't changed it. We still expect potentially on average to be cold in February for out east for the month of February. 3 straight potential winter months in a row with below average temperatures in out east. I've shown you guys what our temperatures have been over the last 90 days. Basically, everyone east of this line has been running slightly or average to below average. Everyone west of this line has been running above average. It's really been more like this. But expect it to continue. And our March analogs, you're not going to believe me. But here's what March thinks basically for temperatures. Everyone north and east of this line, cold. Everyone out here, hot. It's actually more like this. It's actually more like this. North and east of that line. So, yeah, we're not going to go that far ahead right now. But that's what's going on. What's going on? And who has some questions? Let me get back here. Tufts, I appreciate you. NTX, Morgan, Stevie. Be my good boy. No, thank you, Duke. Or you talking to someone else? Marissa, TX, Jasmine, Michaela. Yeehaw, ride 'em, cowboy. Thanks, Tufts. DC Nor'easter will happen again. You have a setup for it for sure. Let's take a look at our ensembles. I'll take that as a question because I wanted to talk about that anyways. So I'm accepting that as a question, even though it was more of a statement. Or was it a question? No, it was a statement, but I'm taking it as a question. Upper air heights, 500 millibar height anomaly. What is happening? Well, are we in our ensemble? Yes, we are. Well, it's a lot of NAO type of things going on up there. Let's go to the northern hemisphere. Look at that. Look at our subtropical jet. Kick on down there to the south. It's trying to kick on. We're trying to get some energy across the south here and maybe help bring one of those storms up the coast. Here's what's going to happen. Here's what happens with the typical nor'easter, ladies and gentlemen. Typical nor'easter, you get a storm system that, we'll call it kind of like this. You get a storm system. Oh, this isn't going to be a nor'easter. You get a storm system that drives down. It begins to tilt. It pulls warm moisture off the Gulf and the Atlantic, and cold air sinks in from the pole from up north. Our polar cold air, and they start to mix. The low deepens like crazy, and you get a blizzard up the coast. What can happen is a smaller piece of energy, just a little low, smaller piece of cold air drives down, but it gets enhanced by a very powerful subtropical jet that decides to turn on. And instead of needing a very amplified trough to dig and tilt, that southern piece of energy amplifies that low and gives it the energy it needs to move up the coast and strengthen into a snowstorm. And if you take a look, now we don't know if this is going to happen. This is a little bit far out, but if we take a look at what the Euro does out at that time frame, let's take a look. Okay, here we go. Let's get out there. All right. Notice. Where's this moisture coming from? Notice. This is a perfect example. We're about to have the Euro thinks around this time frame we're about to have a nor'easter. This does not look like a nor'easter setup, does it? This is a zonal type of flow. Where's our big amplified trough here? It's nowhere to be found. Watch. Big push of Pacific moisture across. And this wouldn't really be a nor'easter. It does begin to tilt, and it does begin to run up the coast at the last second here. So you get that piece of energy a little bit farther to the south. Maybe you don't need this to be a big amplified trough here. Get your polar jet, get your 540 line here. Let that subtropical jet link up, and then let it ride up the coast. And I think that's what the GFS sees. Let's take a look. You kind of get this subtropical jet connecting with our polar jet to the north. Nice snowstorm for areas. Well, I mean, this would actually put big snow potentially from New York City to Boston as well, but this isn't going to play out like this. And then you get that storm triggered by that subtropical jet, pulling that moisture back around, amplifying the second low pressure on the back end, and the GFS tries to give you, there it is, right there, a blizzard along the coast, 968 millibar. Could you call this a nor'easter? If this is 10 miles to the west, I'd say yes. If you have a 986 or 968, 967 millibar low running up the coast, I don't care that it didn't originate like this. If it originated like that, it still counts. That would be a blizzard. I-95 corridor. So let's watch. There's a lot going on. There's going to be a lot going on out here, I think, mid-February. That's going to try to put something in the south and up the coast again. What'd you send? What did you send me, Tufts, on Discord? Okay, 1 second, guys. Mickey Bands and Crestons, 1 second. Tufts, this better be important. What is this? Incredible video of Plum Grove area showing a metal building. Where? Oh, that was in Houston? Wait, when was this from? Earlier? Was this from earlier? When was that from? Was that from one of these Houston storms today? North of Houston, tornado warning. So that was today. Yeah, you know, we were looking. I mean, yeah, we were looking at this. You could see rotation in both of these cells. I'm surprised there wasn't a marginal, not even a marginal Tor risk down here today. Interesting. Okay, so I wasn't going crazy seeing rotation. Thanks for confirming. Because I'm like, you know, we're in a general thunderstorm warning here. It's not very common to just flip into velocity and go, in a general thunderstorm warning, no marginal, nothing. It's not common just to flip into velocity and go, oh, look, 2 funnel clouds. Oh, 2 rotations. So I figured, I mean, I could tell it was rotating, but I figured maybe there's a chance my eyes are deceiving me. But no, there's rotation in both of these. And one's clockwise and one's counterclockwise. Clockwise, counterclockwise. There's rotation in these storms. Not surprising. As they combine here, you might get a little bit less, but they were kind of moving down as a discrete setup. So you get inflow. You're always gonna get a little bit of shear off the Gulf here. So southwesterly flow. That's what these cells like. I'm shocked we didn't have a little bit of a tornado risk zone down there today. Well, hopefully these are out of your hair soon. I'd say Texas City, Galveston, Lake Jackson, Bay City, Matagorda, Port Arthur, Beaumont, Anahuac, Baton. I'd pay attention as these things move through. But they'll be out of your hair soon. Oh boy. Venom, what's going on? Megan, what's going on? Adriana, what's going on? All right, let's get back to answering some questions. Oh boy. Doesn't the 540 line have to be more south though? Not necessarily. Are you talking about for nor'easter? It helps. It helps to have an amplified trough. But what can happen is as your low forms, you get kind of it starts to produce its own cold air, and it helps to collapse colder air a little bit quicker along the back the back side of the storm, which happens here in the GFS. This low starts to strengthen so quickly. I mean, you go from 1,005 millibars to 986 to 972. This would actually bomb out. This low would bomb out as it goes off the coast, and watch our 540 line just get absolutely yanked as it. This is where it's forming. That wouldn't typically be a nor'easter, but as this thing bombs out, watch the back of it. Whoop! That 540 line jumps. This would be in a span of less than 24 hours from here to there, as that cyclone, as that low bombs out and collapses the cold air behind it. So, but guys, this is a little bit far out. 280 hours out. Don't worry about that just quite yet. Well, I just woke up my cat. Thanks, Tom. That was a little loud, wasn't it? I feel like my desktop volume's louder than it normally is. One second, guys. How's the sound on YouTube? Is it all right? Tornado in February? WTF? Yeah, it happens. Tornadoes happen in every month. They can happen in any month. They're just less likely in February. We've also had a hurricane or a hurricane make landfall in every single month except for February, I think. I think there's been a January landfall and a March landfall before. It was tropical storm or hurricane. We've had a tropical landfall in the States every month, I think, except for February. Someone fact check me. Sound is good. Nice. Severe weather for Oklahoma City, Edmont next week. You guys want to take a look at what CSU thinks? Back to the Discord. Let's take a look. Colorado State likes to get ahead of severe weather. CPC won't be as aggressive and put the severe weather out as far. But Colorado State University will. Let's take a look. Let's get in there. All right. All right. Man, I need to get my screens fixed. Let's look at our day 3 to 8. Oh, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. I was just hyping you up, and you're gonna not work right now. Come on. Not seeing much. All the way out through the 10th. Not seeing much. And they will call it out. Believe me. They will call it out. So, I'm guessing if they're not seeing much, Pivotal's not seeing much either. CPC outlooks, it's probably empty. There you go. I don't know what's going on here, but that looks pretty severe. I'm just kidding. Nothing. Where do I think we could get severe weather? Well, let's see. Let's go to the latest GFS 18Z. None of this. I mean, yeah, we'd have to watch this for severe weather right here. But again, this would be day 10. That's why you don't see it. This is a severe weather setup for sure. Southwesterly flow, cold, warm air interaction. Maybe a little bit of a dry boundary tries to set up. You usually don't get as bad a dry boundary this time of year, but yeah, that's the first time I really see anything concerning. You could possibly have a severe weather event maybe on the 11th. Maybe the 11th. 13th looks interesting. I sent Velocity CC in your Discord for the video I sent. Nice. Let me make sure everyone can see everything in there. All right. Let's see. Members. Okay. I think we're all caught up. All right. Let me try to speed answer some questions here. Yeah, yes, we've had a landfalling storm in January before. Yeah, crazy. January 3rd, 1938 is the earliest forming hurricane. Well, not ever. Yeah. No, I get what you're saying, Emmanuel. Thank you, Leanne and Emmanuel, for the facts. Is Maryland in a good spot for more 6-inch plus storms? Yes. Simple as that. Yes. Yep. I haven't let you down with my projections for the opportunities out east. We've had them. We've gotten some. We're going to have more. March analog looks cold. I do believe with what I'm seeing right now, the second half of February gives us a couple chances out along the East Coast as well. The cold air is going to be there. We've got cold air moving over, transferring around the globe from Europe, more tropospheric polar vortex issues, and most importantly, a stratospheric polar vortex, potential complete collapse, and wind reversal. I don't think we're going to get the wind reversal. I do think the thing's basically going to stall out. That's going to be end of February when we deal with that coldest air on the planet from the stratosphere above the North Pole. So that, I mean, I'll pull up the zonal wind again so you guys can see. Listen, there's a chance it doesn't happen, but you tell me what you think. Here, tell me what you think. I'd say the majority of models collapse that wind, don't they? Right? There's a lot of members. Pretty much all in here. This is slow. Especially you get under 15, 10 here. Anything under here, this thing is weak. And this is actually a surprising amount of models suggesting, or members suggesting, a wind reversal. Or a reversal of the stratospheric polar vortex. So, that's going to affect us at the end of February, very likely. Okay. MJO, it is updated in my Discord, but let's see if there's another update. Cause there may be. Let's take a look. I like the European Extended. We'll take a look at some other ones. This would be hilarious. The GEFS just amplifying us up into phase 2 through February. That's a very cold and wet signal, especially for the plains and east. So, but I don't really care about the GEFS very much. Do you guys? I don't think so. European Extended, still minorly amplified, not fully collapsed, but not much. I don't really care about anything that's happening here. This is the circle of death. We want to get out of there if you want anything interesting to happen. So, not much going on there. What is a Discord? Yeah. Okay. Let me show you guys what Discord is. Just I like to do at least once, twice a stream. I'll just do it once. And then I'll answer as many questions as I can. I'll put on a timer. 10 minutes. I'll answer as many questions as I can as quickly as I can. Here's the Discord. Everything I talk about on stream, all the maps I show, everything you want to know, it's in the Discord in one place. I updated the Discord every single day. Hour to an hour and a half. Every single day I update this. From your snowfall forecast, NWS 24 to 48 hour snowfall, national blend of models. Getting down to the latest details. Winter storm, your high definition 2K models, your short range models, your 72 hour expected and high end snow and ice totals from the National Weather Service, directly from them. Temperature updates, day 1, day 2, lows and highs, 6 to 14 day temperature outlooks, and your 7-day anomalies. Rainfall updates, same thing. National Weather Service alerts. Severe risk zones, tornado risk zones, high wind risk zones, hail risk zones, extended severe weather forecast, wildfires, earthquakes, droughts, volcanoes, ENSO setup, MJO forecast, hurricane, storm reports. SBC is in here. Tornado warning, severe thunderstorm warning, flood warnings, PDS alerts. Anytime there's anything, it goes immediately in here. The Discord has a bot that is connected directly to the National Weather Service. So if there's a tornado warning, you bet within 3 seconds it's in here. Was the tornado warning from today put in here? Was it an actual tornado warning from today? Or was it a tornado watch? Because if it was a tornado warning, it should be in here today. The last one I have is the 10th. I guess I should double check and make sure that this is still going. Can you confirm that? There were warnings? Okay. Well, let me go and figure out. Oh, that's good. I checked that then. Let me go and figure out. Someone remind me or just post. I guess can one of the mods, so I don't forget, just let me know in mod chat to there's probably an update to the bot, so I'll fix that. But by tomorrow, this will be fixed. The warnings and watches and all the stuff will come right into here as they're issued by the National Weather Service. Let's see here. Okay, so we'll get that fixed. SBC updates, NHC, WPC, space weather, everything's in here, and all the links I use to look at everything you want to know about weather's in here as well. Just click the link in the description of any of my YouTube videos. Not lives, not shorts. It's in any actual full-length video on my YouTube page. The Discord's completely free. Free. Absolutely free. We're giving a merch giveaway this weekend, too. All you have to do is react to my announcement I made in the announcement channel. You can also just add me, Connor's Climate Corner, and you'll be in there. All right. Let me actually, really quickly before, because I'm gonna start speed answering your guys' questions. Let me just double check on something. Let me go NWS. IM bot setup. Tornado warnings. Channel. 1 second, guys. Tornado warnings. Enter. Okay. So it's already set up. Do you want to modify the setup? Interesting. All updates. Include polygon. Yes, please. All right. Hopefully that fixed it. If not, I'll look through this after stream and I'll get that fixed. Bot setup. Severe thunderstorm warning. 1 second, guys. Severe thunderstorm warnings. Area. Setup. All updates. Okay. It should be working now. We'll double check though. We want all alerts should be going directly into my Discord. What's cool about the alerts, the tornado warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, flood warnings, all that, you can actually get a summary of it in the Discord. And then if you're concerned, if the tornado's headed towards your house, there's a way you can actually talk to the AI on the post and say like, hey, I live here. Could this tornado hit my house? And it'll assess where you live, what the path of the tornado is, what the speed is, and try to give you a good answer. So some interesting stuff. All right, let's do a speed round. Let me answer as many questions as I can. Before doing that, and I know I shouldn't have a Red Bull this late, but I need it. I'm gonna grab a Red Bull. All right. All right. Hope everyone's having a good Tuesday. Tomorrow's hump day. Okay. I want to put on a 10-minute timer. 10 minutes. Let's see how many questions I can answer. How many questions I can answer in 10 minutes. Start. Is Virginia Beach supposed to get snow? On the high end, you could end up with an inch or two. If you don't get lucky here with how the snow's moving across, you're probably going to end up with just a dusting. I think you at least get a dusting, but this isn't supposed to be a big storm for you, unfortunately, if you're looking forward to it. Is Charlotte done with winter weather this season? Absolutely not, Jamie. Absolutely not. The signal towards the second half of February turns cold again, maybe towards the end of the second week into the third week, but I think it might be before that, or into the fourth week. March has a very cold analog. Look, the favorable analog for March is cold. Really, and we talked about this earlier. We'll see if the analog changes. It's like cold for everyone here, which would be insane because we've been running below averages really east and north and east of this line almost all winter. So it'd be crazy, but that's just it. We still see a cold signal ahead. So the below freezing air could be available all the way into the end of March for you in North Carolina. We've had some big southern storms before in late February and March as well. So they happen, believe me. And this is the setup you'd want for them to happen. Alex, Stacy Truth, KJ, I appreciate you. Appreciate you. Will New Jersey really even have a thaw? It'll be a minor thaw. Listen, you guys have been running crazy below average. So compared to what you've been in, it's going to feel like a thaw. Oh, yeah. It's not going to be the scorcher people were promising you guys. Okay? It's not going to be that. We're not getting a blowtorch to New Jersey. Maybe for a day. I don't think so. Can New Jersey overperform Friday? I feel sometimes Clippers move stronger over mountains than expected, and sometimes they get caught in the mountains. It's really hard to tell. This Clipper has enough energy with it. It's likely going to make it over the mountains. It's just what's left of it. Because when you see a lot of these, when you see this a lot of times, you actually end up getting nothing. But most models do pull some of the snow over. Over the mountains. The latest from the and you're going to be pretty cold up there. The latest from the GFS, yeah, I mean, it gives you guys a chance for, if you're lucky, an inch or two out there. You can see the latest Euro. The Euro's giving you a little bit more snow. It's giving everyone an inch or two almost. You can see here. Trying to give New York City a couple inches, 2 to 3. Long Island, trying to get an inch, 2 inches. Here, I'll push into the Mid-Atlantic here real quick. I know I need to go quick. But, yeah. And Euros are probably your better model to look at, so not too bad. What do you think about the snow in Ohio around Toledo over Thursday and Friday? Yeah, let me see something real quick because I think the National Weather Service is starting to kind of put out their projections on that. Actually, no, they'll get into that tomorrow. Oh, my God, this stupid page. They'll get into that tomorrow. Let's take a look at... I'm going to take a look at the European ensemble real quick. And we're going to jump into the Great Lakes region. There we go. Here you go. European ensemble. Not like in a ton of snow across the state, but 1 to 3 inches across the state possible. Let me push back into the deterministic. Same type of thing. We get into the national blended models. Same type of thing, but the area that the national blend is concerned about really underperforming on, obviously, is down here. Maybe Columbus down to Cincy. Pretty good agreement that most of the state's going to see somewhere between a half inch to 3 inches of snow. It's going to depend where you are. The Northeast looks like it's going to do pretty good. Maybe Southeastern Ohio as well. 35 degrees in D.C. Felt like summer today. Yeah, you guys have been so freaking cold. How are we looking temperature-wise in February for Dallas? As I spoke about before, warm. I hate to tell you. Central to southern plains. I would say more southern plains than central plains. And I spoke about it, was it yesterday? Time flies when you're having fun, guys. My little bowl over the southern plains, this kind of area here. I don't know if it would be like that, but this area in specific, I think is going to be a little bit warm in February. I just do. I've been saying it. If you take a look at our March analogs, you do get our March analog, and this is a pretty far outlook still, but meteorologists are starting to talk about a pretty cool central and eastern U.S. into March, which would probably include a cool March for Dallas-Fort Worth. So if you want something to hold on to and you want some more cold air before the brutal spring and summer comes along, there's a chance you get a nice, cool, below average March as an average. That's at least what the current data suggests. Tried setting up Atmospheric X, but it's super confusing. Yes, it is, Cruz Haynes. I couldn't set it up. My brother is a software engineer. And so when I have issues with anything with computers, I say, EJ, how do I do? And he goes, oh, that's easy. Just code. Go into command, go into the back end of your computer and type in prompt X1, blah, 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 blah. And then everything works. He goes and fixes websites, backends, and apps and all sorts of crazy stuff. So Atmospheric X to him was a joke. I will tell you this, and I know I need to keep answering questions. I'm going to pause because I need to do 6 more minutes of answering questions. I will tell you this. Version 8, and you guys know what Atmospheric X is. Let me just show you really quickly again. It doesn't look right because I'm not in the right setting, but you guys know what it looks like. Let me just show you real quick. This is going to be big, okay? You know, here's how it is, right? I can. This is how I do my live feeds. We'll get special weather statements, winter storm warnings, tornado warnings. It'll run through the bottom. It'll tell you where everything is. It'll tell you how many active alerts at the top. You can see the time. Version 8 of Atmospheric X is in the works, and it's going to blow this version out of the water, I think. He's putting in all sorts of additional warnings, anything from winter storms to floods to... It's going to be a much more interactive. There's going to be a lot more information on the screen. We're going to be able to see when a storm's moving through with live power outages in each state. There's just going to be a lot of customization and a lot of details on the screen. So it's going to be really cool. Trust me, it's going to be cool. And I think the version 8 beta comes out soon, which the coder, the software engineer who created Atmospheric X, gave me permission or said I could do the beta. He's giving people who are streamers, meteorologists, and storm chasers the chance to test the beta. So I'll be testing the beta. I don't know if it's like a week from now or 2 months from now, but it's coming up. He's completely done with the back end. He just needs to fix the front end coding. So I'll have the beta soon, and we'll get to test it out together. There's going to be a lot of stuff on the screen, that information that I don't have to go searching for, that we can just have live on the screen, especially getting into spring. This is going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome when we're doing live storm tracking. So it's something to look forward to. But I think one of the things, and sorry, this is the only reason I brought this up. A lot of people say, oh my God, I tried to download Atmospheric X and it's hard to set up. It is hard to set up. Another thing he talks about in his notes on version 8 of Atmospheric X is simplifying the setup, because he knows it's difficult for a lot of people to set up. So when that comes out too, which I think it's going to be pretty soon. Again, I don't know weeks or months, but I think we'll have it by spring. When that comes out too, I think just any Joe Schmo is going to be able to set it up it'll be a lot more accessible, which is cool. All right, let me get back to this. Switch screens. But yeah, I think spring's going to be fun. I have some storm chasers who have reached out to me, who I'm going to work with, so we can have live video on the ground from storm chasers. We can use their footage. I don't have to cut away like I've had to before. So we can use their footage. We're going to have a really good overlay, and we're going to have some really good details on the screen. We're going to be able to jump around. And yeah, I think spring's going to be, we're going to have some good storm track and storm coverage streams. Okay. Ask away. What questions do we have, guys? Bring the heat to the pole, Brandon. I need a free online software engineer. Yeah, my brother, listen, even this computer that I have and all the technology I use and all the streaming I do, I'm such a baby. I think my brother has actually made me worse because he always helps me anytime I have a technical issue or a computer issue. I actually know so little because I can always just, he's like my crutch. I can always be like, I don't want to figure it out myself. Call me. If he FaceTimes me, he's like, dude, just do this and this. And I'm like, oh, yeah. So he's making me like worse at technology because I always use him instead of learning myself. That's what he's here for, older brother. Hey, Connor, I've been seeing some signals on the models for a big East Coast storm Valentine's Day. Too far out. Kyle, I like the pattern. The pattern supports an East Coast or a winter storm out east. I'm not going to say East Coast. The pattern supports a winter storm out east. Late second week, early third week of February, 1,000%. But you know better, Kyle. If you see a winter storm right now, if you see a nor'easter right now at 270 hours out, probably not going to happen. You probably actually don't want to see it yet. But I think end of second week, beginning of third week of February, yes. Potentially around Valentine's Day, yes. Watch out here. Why? Models agree on our subtropical jet kicking up a little bit. And nice cool air beginning to sink back into the States, whether it be through our tropospheric polar vortex breakdown or kind of that cool air lag from Europe that's slowly going to start collapsing our polar jet out in the States a little bit more. There's some things that aren't going to necessarily want to promote a major heat wave across the States around that time. Please snow in northern Colorado. It's on the way. It's on the way. I know I don't like to look out this far, but I like to look out this far when it's troughing changes. So I'm not looking at the precipitation out right here, 200 hours out. I'm taking a look that all the models agree on cooler air and a southwesterly flow, a ridge to ride up here because our ridge is going to be over the plains and out east. Colorado, I'd be shocked if you guys don't get one or two good snowstorms or one or two good big snow dumps in the second week of February. You could get 3. It looks good. A little bit more patience, though. Your ridge is going to try to hold out there for probably another, we'll call it 7 to 8 days of dryness, maybe above average temperatures. More New Jersey snow. I like the second half of February for that. I do. You could even get, obviously, a little bit from one of these clipper systems in the short term, but I don't expect that to be big snow. Why does it always snow or rain on weekends and shitty during the week? Yeah, here's the thing. We always notice when all the snow consistently comes on weekends because it's like, oh, it's our time off work, right? And a lot of people just know it's the weekend, so we notice it. It actually doesn't happen that often. Before this last couple of weeks, we weren't necessarily having these storms happening over the weekend. We just always remember the storms more when they're over the weekend, and we've had a couple in a row now. Yeah. I will say this, the way weather works, if you get a storm on Saturday moving through, say this like big storm out, say there's a big, like, here, let's just go into the GFS for fun and look at the 12Z. Say you get like a storm like this, right? Like a nor'easter like this. Say it's Saturday. A lot of times, just because of the timing of our weather, here's your trough. You get a ridge that tries to push back into it, and then right behind the ridge, you have another trough, and then that pushes back in behind the ridge. Now, the transition from trough to ridge or zonal back into trough is typically, we'll call it 6 to 8 days. So if you do get a winter storm on a Friday or Saturday, if you're going to have one behind it, another significant one, the odds are it's actually probably probably 6 to 7 days away. So that's why you see, like, if you like, you see them following that kind of pattern. It's always on Saturday. Once one's on Saturday, if the pattern favors the continued, if the pattern stays the same, you could probably see one every 7 days if the pattern stays the same. 6, 7, yeah, I see dust. I know better. I'm not saying there's. Oh yeah, Kyle, I know you know. But yes, Kyle. I think the pattern supports it. Which microphone do you have? Audio is really crisp. Yeah, it was actually it's called a HyperX. It's called a HyperX, and I have my settings. I have a decent computer, and OBS allows me to. I've messed with my audio settings to make it more crisp. I will say though, I'm gonna get a new mic that's. I want a little bit more bassiness in my voice, a little bit more full. But this mic is not that expensive. I don't know. How much was this mic? It was pretty cheap, and it's a USB. I don't need a sound card. I don't need a, whatchamacallit, XLR or anything. So, let me see something real quick. Yeah, I mean, I think I got this one for maybe $120 or $130. I've had it for quite a long time, and I've had no issues with it. And it's just a USB plug-in. You get a really nice like Shure mic and stuff. You need to get the sound card, XLRs, and all that stuff, which I probably will do as I improve my setup. But this does very good for the price point. Very good for the price point. Baltimore getting any more snow? Yes. Chance you get some snow here from these Clippers? Definitely. You could get a little snow over tonight, dusting to a half inch, maybe even an inch if you get lucky. Probably not too much. You'll have another little chance for snow right here as we get into Friday, Saturday. Good snow. Again, let's watch what happens as we push in towards the end of the second week of February. So we'll call it 7 to 10 days out. Let's watch that pattern because snow is going to return to the east. It's going to try to move towards the coast too if we do get that tropical subtropical jet we've been talking about turning on. That's going to push our pattern further out east. So, and listen, I want a big snowstorm where I am, and I think we're going to have an opportunity. I'm in Minneapolis. I think we're going to have an opportunity here, but we need a little bit of warm. I actually need this ridge over you guys out east. I need the east to warm up and thaw out if I want a chance for snow in Minneapolis because I need the pattern. I need the storm track there. You guys need the storm track here. For me to have this storm track, you guys need to be under a heat wave, basically, okay? I need you guys to warm up out east for a little bit. For me. Do it for me. Do it for me. Main Rose, I appreciate you, Tufts. I appreciate you. I wish it would snow in Alabama. Let me show you something. Let me show you something. This is actually starting to clear off the bottom. Let's go to our 7 to 10 day. There's energy down here. There's energy down here off the southwest coast. And I said it last stream, and I know models aren't really showing this, but I think we could really turn this on and get kind of an El Nino-esque like conditions. We're not going to be in an El Nino, but El Nino-esque like conditions. So at some point in February where we get a big storm, where we get some cooling down in the south due to a lot of precipitation. And if we can get some Arctic air to sink down at that time, that's when you get a snowstorm very, very far south like we saw last year. Nothing's showing up on the models, but I do find it interesting. What's happening. You can see here's our 7 day. Here's our 7 day 500 millibar height anomalies all the way out through February 20th. And we're going to have energy out here in the Eastern Pacific, out here near Baja, that wants to push a lot of moisture through the south here. And we'll see what happens with it. But I don't know. I can't promise Alabama you're going to get any snow this winter. But if you're going to get some, I think there's a window here. hey, if your March analog's true, you might have a below average March as well. You could have a window in early March, but late March it's really hard to get snow down there. I don't know. I talked about it last stream. I talked about how same thing. How I think we could get kind of that El Nino-esque setup in the south for a little bit if we can get our subtropical jet to really kick on, which I'm not seeing a ton of, but I think we could get some precipitation cooling down here at the same time when we have a little bit of Arctic air trying to push in. I'll talk about that maybe in my video tomorrow or the next day. I've been looking at that for a while. I've been thinking that for a while. I don't know. It's just a gut feeling, but 14 inches in Charlotte. Well, you guys got what? You guys got 12 inches officially reported on that last storm, right? Even more up to the northeast. Of you guys, they got up to like 17. Snow in New Jersey, yeah, you'll have another opportunity ahead. Most likely you'll have another opportunity ahead. Just jumped in. Any more chances for snow this winter for central Kansas? I don't like February for Kansas. Not that it can't happen. It can happen. This is where I think we're going to have some heat issues in February. If our March analog continues to hold, if we continue to see what we're seeing as a potential for March, Kansas could sit right along a nice Bear Clinic boundary for the average of that month. And you could have some interesting March setups for Kansas. I'm not so sure. I believe we're going to get a big snowstorm or a significant snowstorm in February into Kansas. Not that it couldn't happen. You see some possibilities here. This is an interesting time frame. 280 hours out, but interesting setup here. Really far collapsed polar jet, and you get a little bit of a southerly flow here. You could definitely get a nice little snowstorm straight through the central plains there. So maybe end of the second week. It's kind of for the east as well, as it tries to set up an East Coast snowstorm late second week, early third week of February. We'll watch for the chances for a nice snow in Kansas in the central plains. How long am I streaming for tonight? Let's see. I've been on 52 minutes. Probably I'll go probably just another 5 minutes. Again, I'm trying to conserve myself a little bit. It's been tough. I'm putting basically 40 hours a week into, not basically, I'm putting 40 hours a week into this, and then about 50 hours a week into my other job. And I got 2 little kids. So there's not much daddy time. I've basically completely stopped going to the gym because I either go to the gym or I do weather stuff. So when there's not crazy weather events going on, I'll do about an hour stream. We got a big significant winter storm ahead, right? We get into that like 5-day time frame, and then through the winter storm, I'm going to be doing longer streams. Yeah. I might take, moving forward here, I might take 1 or 2 days off, like a Wednesday or just a Sunday, or a Wednesday and Sunday. I'll talk to you guys about it, but I mean, I'm not going anywhere. My plan is to basically still be posting and streaming every day. I'm just trying to reduce my streaming hours a little bit when nothing crazy is going on so I don't get burnt out. Because I like doing this. And when I start to get burnt out, I start to not like it. And I never want to not like this. Central Illinois. Wonder what's going to happen here. Wonder what's going to happen there. Tomorrow, we'll see what the National Weather Service thinks for Central Illinois. Let's take a look at our national blend. Let's take a look at our national blend for Central Illinois. States. Illinois. Here's the I was looking at Indiana there. For some reason, I always do that. You guys look pretty dry in the national blend for the foreseeable future. Temperature-wise, here, let's take a look. Let's take a look. We'll go to 12Z Euro. Anomalies. Temperature-wise, holy crap. Chris with the Galaxy. Chris, I appreciate you. Thank you, Chris. I really appreciate that. Let me know if you have a question. Yeah, you stay cool. You stay cool in Central Illinois, at least for the next couple days. We get a warm-up, though, as we get into Friday. Maybe it's a tease. Cold again on Saturday. And then a warm-up again on Sunday and Monday. So you're gonna have your weather's going to be a little bit bipolar Thursday to Sunday. Back and forth. But as we get into early next week, you're probably going to be hot. You're going to be hot pretty much. This is believable. You'll be 5 to 15 degrees running above average probably through next week before, I think, we cool down again as we get into next weekend and the second half of February. Okay, phone. Thank you, phone. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Chris, I really appreciate that. Let's see. Always appreciate your knowledge and watching your lives when I can. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Yeah. Definitely. I don't know how you say that. Back kitty. I don't know how to say it. I don't know how to pronounce that. Yeah. Join the Discord. Is there any snow going on in VA tomorrow? And I see another question about VA. Chris. So for both of you, let's take a look real quick. When we're in this time frame, it's pretty safe to look at what the National Weather Service thinks. I agree with the majority of what the National Weather Service thinks over 72-hour time frame. Not always. I'll let you know if I don't. Here's next 72 hours in Virginia. The next 72 hours in Virginia. Here's the expected totals. A dusting to an inch across the state. Dusting to an inch across the state. Could be a dusting, could be an inch. But if you're going to get more, it's looking like it's going to be there east of Harrisburg, west of Dale City, northwest of Fredericksburg, and then maybe down there in southeastern. Maybe down there in southeastern Virginia and out here towards Blacksburg. High end. If you get lucky, you get some nice bands moving over you. Maybe your snow ratio is a little bit better. Your surface is a little bit cooler than expected. You could see 1 to 3 inches across the state. 1 to 2.5 inches, we'll say, across the state. So is snow ahead for Virginia? Yes. You're going to get a blanket of snow, at least a dusting of snow, maybe 1 to 2 inches across the state here. It's not going to be, not everyone's going to get 1 or 2 inches. Some people are just going to receive a dusting, but for the most part, most people in Virginia are going to at least see flakes falling, if not at minimum of a dusting here over the next 72 hours. Someone will get lucky. Moving ahead a little bit further than that, and we can take a look at our national. We can take a look at what our national blend here thinks. Pushing out through the weekend. Let's go about 150 hours. Same thing. I think after this, after what we were just talking about, we're probably not going to see snow return back into Virginia or the Mid-Atlantic. Probably until we push. We'll say we could start seeing some opportunities around the 12th of February. We're going to get like a 10-day break. And then I think snow is going to start to set up out there again. Cold air and snow for maybe even the Carolinas. We'll see. But Mid-Atlantic, New England. We'll watch the Ohio Valley. Holy crap, Chris with another galaxy. I appreciate that. Seriously, thank you. I appreciate that, Chris. Extremely generous. Thank you, man. Butler there north of Pittsburgh. Same type of situation. Not expecting much snow. Not too bad. Your expected is at least 2 inches. High end, 3 inches, 3.5. So, not too bad. It'd be pretty surprising if you didn't get at least an inch or 2 of accumulation on the ground over the next 72 hours. Again, though, and actually this could be more. This could actually end up being more because this isn't fully accounting for the second. I think they have your high end as 3.5. I think your high end could be like 4 to 5 inches if you get lucky, like a 10% chance, 4 to 5 inches. They have your expected at about 2 inches. I think that's fine. I'd say 2 to 3 inches for your expected over the next 72 hours. 72 to 96 hours, yeah. Get that snow away from North Carolina. Pikeville, you got some snow that's about to move over now. Could be a nice little snowfall about to head over your area. Let's take a look at the actual reflectivity. You guys could get some freaking thunder snow in a second, actually. What are our temperatures down there? I don't think you're going to have an issue with temperatures aloft. What are the surface temperatures, though? That's what I want to know. I don't think you're going to have aloft issues right now. Let me see. Maybe. Temperatures. Yeah, you're going to get a little bit of mixing. This might be a little bit of mixing. Pikeville. And there's some warm air behind this that's going to push up, too. So if you do get snow, I don't know if it's going to be great snow. I'd listen for thunder snow, though. This looks like thunder snow potential to me. We know what's happening on the southern end of this system as well. So some severe weather earlier today. Snow in Raleigh tomorrow night. If you get any, a dusting to an inch, not much. Guys, I'm going to head off. I'm going to have another video tomorrow morning. Updates on snow, temperatures, severe weather, outlooks, February. I'll pull up the March analog tomorrow. So you guys can see what's going on, what it looks like for March. March looks cold again. It's weird. We just keep seeing cold trends out east, but it is what it is. Again, I don't make the weather. I just report it. If I was making the weather, I'd give myself a lot more snow. Mags, I appreciate that. Bev, Chris, again, thank you. Mods, I appreciate you. Thank you, everyone. Oh, look, my new subscribe. I appreciate the sub over there on YouTube. Thank you, guys. New video will be up in the morning, and I'll be live streaming tomorrow. I do think probably as we get into Thursday, we're going to start to talk about a snowstorm out here. We're going to start to take that seriously. And then as we get into this weekend, we're going to be looking ahead probably 5 days out from a snowstorm out here. So I'd expect over the next couple days, we're going to get a lot into this. And then you push forward 3 to 4 days after, we're going to get a lot into this area. And we're going to confirm if February does flip back cold and snowy again for the East. Second half, I think it does. So anyways, I appreciate all you. And again, I'll see you tomorrow, and I will have a video posted in the morning. And if you want to join the Discord, link in the description to any of my YouTube videos. Everything we look at on here in my live streams, all the maps, my mods, the climate crew, everything's in the Discord. I tell you when I'm going live. It's an awesome resource. You have links to everything I use. So add me, Connor's Climate Corner on Discord, or just go to the link in the description of any of my videos. You guys are awesome. Everyone have a great night, and I will see you